Hello there everybody, and welcome to this feature presentation on YouTube. I am King Mac, your hamburger pal. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to enjoy a hot fresh cheeseburger along with some delicious golden french fries, a tasty milkshake, and a nice soft drink. Also be sure to grab some hot buttery popcorn while you're at it as you enjoy this episode of TTBurger Game Reviews on YouTube.
I'm sick of all these thoughts that are stuck in my head. I'm sick of wishing I could just forgive and forget. I'm sick of all these thoughts that are stuck in my mind, my mind.
Hello my friends, welcome back. You are watching TTBurger Game Reviews here on YouTube, and I am your host, Tony, bringing you more of my game reviews here of the PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4, and more and more and more. And we're on episode 263 of my game reviews here, episode 263, part 1 of one part, yet again. Yep, I know, it's been a while, I know do some more one-part reviews, but hey, we got some fun action here. Before I get started here, I want to give a shout out to Free Green HD, Sub-Zero MX King Mac, Lost to that Hyperlamnia, Prickles to Stateside, Megs, Black Healer, Griffin Puff, along with the homie RJ, Rockstar Pool 69, Red Hood Assassin, the Sensational Gent, V-Rock Games, Dedicated 22, and more and more and more. And today I'm looking at a game that started off on the Nintendo Wii. Yeah, it's the first time I'm doing this where a game started off on the Nintendo Wii and was ported to like another console like that. Looking at a cooking restaurant management game, and it's my first time reviewing these type of games here because, you know, I know I talked about how bad Cooking Mama Cookstar was and stuff in my worst games of 2021 list and stuff, but it doesn't mean all those type of games are bad and stuff. And we got a game that's compatible with the PlayStation Move. Anybody remember that? Well, we got the game right here. Let's start with some cooking action with Order Up for the PlayStation 3, first released for the Nintendo Wii on July 22nd, 2008, and then released on March 1st, 2012 for the PlayStation 3 and June 12th, 2012 for the Nintendo 3DS. So the PlayStation 3 version is the only version I have. Now, usually these type of games are a hit or miss compared to the game and the console more. And the million-dollar question for all the burgers in the world is, how is Order Up? Well, it's actually pretty good to say the least. Sure, it's not going to win any rewards or the best game ever and stuff or so, but it still manages to be a fun restaurant cooking management game where you cook the food, manage the restaurant, and more and more and more. It's simple, fun, but not without the negatives though. So let's continue. There's not really much story. You just pick one of two chefs, male or female, and you are thrown off this plane, and then you are hired, and you're hired as a chef and a cook in a drive-thru restaurant. Learn the basics about the game, cooking, and the food managing, and more. Then you move on to other bigger restaurants such as a diner, a Mexican restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and more and more and more. You have objectives you must complete for each restaurant, getting 500 coins, getting a number of chef specials on the menu, cleaning your restaurant, impressing the food critic, and more and more and more. That's basically your story. It's just a way to move the game along and doesn't really take itself seriously. The graphics and the presentation of Order Up are nothing special, and since this was a Nintendo Wii game first, the PlayStation 3 game has some upscale with the graphics. Sure, the graphics are not the best, but they still look good to say the least. The character models have a Comedy Central cartoon feel like them with the faces and the way they move and such. The restaurants all look cool and have distinct themes to them, like I mentioned, like Mexican, you got the diner, you got Italian, and other things and more. And the food you cook looks pretty cool too, especially when it's on the grill or the fryer and stuff. There's no dip in the frame rate whatsoever from what I saw. The sound is funny, especially from the characters, the way they talk, like their voice setting is hilarious, like South Park hilarious. I like to do this, so many choices. Can you get me a lot of salt or so? Oh yes, I love this. Oh, mister, it's delicious. And the way they talk and such, how they give you orders on what they want is really funny. And seeing them react to the food, saying, I want this, I want salt, it's so funny and cracks you up. The music I'm not a fan of is what I'm gonna say here. Sure, it sounds like restaurant music, but it can get repetitive after a while, like hearing the loops over and over, and it can get annoying. The instruments in the kitchen sounds good, but no complaints there. But now let's get to the gameplay. Fun game, not the best because of some of the problems, but I'll get to that later. Like I mentioned, this game is simple. You buy and manage a restaurant, hire cooks to help you with the meals, prepare them, cook them, and satisfy the customers, and get your restaurant a 5-star rating, and then you get enough coin, buy another restaurant, and then you do there. Be careful not to overcook or undercook the food. You will get complaints from your reviews after you're done selling to customers. You get reviews and stuff like that, and it will affect business and stuff. You'll not just have to cook for the diners and stuff like that. You have judges to solve and more, like buy them a restaurant, run specials, and such as buying chef specials and spices, because some of your customers will want spice on them, and like impress the health inspector, where if you don't impress him by washing dishes as fast, he will shut you down, and that's not good. And impressing the food critic and more. To get new meals and recipes, you go to the farmer's market to buy new spices and recipes to keep your restaurant popping and keeping it busy. This will cost you coins though. Now this stuff is not free at all, and some of it can be a little expensive. You have some mini games here that involve using the PlayStation Move 6x tilt function. These include washing dishes for a time limit for the health inspector, so he cannot shut you down, along with trying to slice a tomato and stuff like that for like the challenge and more. You pick a character, like I say, you play one male or female, doesn't matter. In the long run, they all play the same. And in the end of the day, it's a simple game with a simple concept, but it's got negatives. Buying spices, running out of them can get annoying, because if you run out, no extra tip from the customers for you. You can hire extra cooks to help you out, and they do a great job, but you're only limited to hiring 2 more cooks. You can't hire 3 of them or 4 of them or so, or more. And they can fall asleep on you, and you have to wake them up sometimes, and they do not do the best job of cooking the food either. Like, you have a rating on great, good, perfect, okay, and stuff. Usually they'll give you a good or okay with the way they cook them. The chop challenge for the vegetables minigame is always difficult for the most part, because you have to, like, trace the way the vegetable cooks it out when it's on screen, the way you cut the vegetables on screen, and that's kind of weird and just overly complicated for no reason. Some of the recipes and new equipment for your restaurants are pricey. Trying to multitask certain parts in order to like keep all the orders stuff that can result in burnt food for the customers. And sometimes you don't have enough money to buy what you need for the orders, and be prepared to be at the same restaurant over and over until you have enough to buy the new restaurant and open ones up and more. Shaking the controller to do certain tasks can get kind of monotonous, and that's all the complaints I have though. Final thoughts: if you enjoy restaurant cooking management games, Order Up should not disappoint at all. It's a great game, just not the best. I give it an 8 out of 10 because of the problems I have with it, but still a fun game that should not be overlooked. And that's all for episode 263, part 1 of 1 part. Next up, episode 264. What will we cover next? You have to find out. That's all I gotta say. It's Tony. Peace and out. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
The memories with silhouettes, but I know things only